Yes, we are back with another video. Happy Friday, you all. And I'm coming back with a great topic that I think you all are going to love. I found this interesting. I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about this. So let's talk about our Christian walk, Christians, and dating apps, right? And I'm going to just start off by saying, let's be real with ourselves. I agree with the movement. Let's delete these apps. Are they really giving us justice for the most part? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this before I get into this video. What's the percentage that you found a good match or you know someone who's found love on these apps versus people who just found wasted time? Okay. But let's get into this. So clearly you know where I'm standing on this topic. Okay, so should Christians use dating apps? I'm talking about Tinder. I'm talking about, and I've been on these. I've been on Tinder. I hated it. I've been on, what is it, Christian Mingle or something like that. Upward, all of these different ones, even the platforms where they say that it's a Christian platform. I find interesting is that they say that, but when you get on there, there's an option to choose what you believe in, and it's like, do you really believe or not? So even though they say these are platforms for believers, they leave space or invitations for believers. So actually, that was not my number one. So that's a bonus one. But let's get into my actual number one. So my first thing is it's too general. Using dating apps is the same equivalence to basically going to the club or a bar and hoping to find a good Christian man, right? Because people on Tinder, they're coming from all different walks of life, right? And I think if we're walking with God, at some point we realize like we're looking to walk a very specific walk, right? It says the narrow walk, right? And so we're trying to find people on a narrow walk, but it's like literally you become a Christian and then you're going out to different clubs or different sceneries where people who do not walk that walk are and hoping to find a good man. The chances are very slim. I won't say zero, but the question is even like, what are you doing there? What is he doing there, right? And not in a bad way, but just like, how did you end up here? In this generalized world instead of one where someone shares the same belief. So yeah, it's hard to find a Christian man. I've literally on these dating apps, and when I say that, I mean like it's not that they won't say they're Christian, but even I've seen experiences where people have met someone who said, "Oh yeah," they put the cross in their bio, they put the Jesus thing in their bio. The person just mirrored what they said so that they could get what they want. So that's the thing. It's too general, and it's like you're weeding through all of these different options and hoping to find something good. It's and then it becomes or feels impossible. Number two, people can pretend, and this actually goes kind of into the other one. People could pretend to be what your bio says or what they think that you would want, right? And so this is the same thing again as like in even the real world, right? Like for example, I meet men all the time. If you're wondering what this ring is, no, I'm not married. I'm married to Christ right now until God brings me a husband or arranges this, right? But the thing is, it's the same thing as when you meet a man, right? You ever meet a guy and he's like, "Oh, what's good? Like, oh, can we be friends?" And you're like, "I'm married, or I have somebody." And he's like, "Well, could we be friends?" And in your head, you're like, "No," right? This he's or you know you're in your head you're like, no, because I'm walking with God, and he says I'll go to church with you. I know, ladies, please comment below. I know y'all have experienced this. This is what I'm saying. They just pretend based off your bio, and they're looking at your pictures. Number three, it's centered around lust, right? It's centered around lust and physical attraction. Let's be real. Let's be real, especially when we get those matches like 2, 3, 4 a.m. And let's be real. A lot of times this is off of lust of what they look like. And also people are just up horny. Like, I'm sorry to say this word on, I hope this is okay with y'all, but people going through things where sometimes they're not thinking with their head. They're thinking with their body parts, right? They're thinking with a lusty kind of a lead. And so at that point, it's like, we're looking at people and we're basing it off if we find them attractive, will we sleep with them or whatever we want. But the thing is, we know in the word God says that he looks at the heart. So man looks at the physical appearance, but you could literally miss the good thing that God put inside someone because we're on these apps looking in a lusty way. We might be like, oh, I don't like he's only 5'3" and I'm 5'5", like I can't do it. But if you met that man in person, if God arranged it in a person, it would maybe be a different thing. And my last thing is number four. I say it's pulling us away from God. What do I mean, right? It's like there's two different ways I'm looking at this. It's pulling us away from God because we're literally investing hours. I've literally invested swipe on swipe on swipe and been annoyed because like my thing is I probably swipe right every 50, I don't know, 25, 30, 40, 50. It takes a long time for me to find someone to swipe right. So you're just wasting this time in this endless rabbit hole of people and pictures, 3 or 4 pictures of each person. So there's that. But then also it goes to your faith, right? Do you have faith or God will make it happen? Because here's my thing. I'm not saying that we can't find love on the internet or on these social platforms, but my thing is I always ask, what was God's original intent? What did he originally do to arrange marriages or arrange relationships? And I go right back to Genesis, the very beginning, because that's the foundation, where literally we see that God creates Adam and then he creates Eve and places Eve there. So ladies, we don't have to go on these apps really searching for a man. And even men, get out. My ladies and gentlemen, get outside, get into different communities of different believers, people who share the same values as you, and you will have a higher, better chance of a successful relationship than these dating apps. Because what's going on is sometimes we're on our walk, we're focused with the Lord, and then we meet somebody off the dating app. Now we going a whole nother way. So let's be realistic with ourselves and say, let's just leave it to Jesus. And I know people are like, oh, God can't pick a partner for you. God cannot say he can't. He won't tell you who to pick, but he can make it clear to you, just like everything else. So I hope this video was good, y'all. Let me comment down below. Let me know. Do y'all think that Christians should be using dating apps to try to find their husband, or should we be leaving it to Jesus? I know y'all probably 50-50 down the middle, but let me know in the comments, y'all. And we'll chat, y'all. Enjoy y'all weekend. Happy Friday. Peace.